Anyone? So today we'll see how to build our Jenkins job automatically on GitHub Commit, right? So in the same topic we have seen in our previous video. So we were using poll SEM option for the build trigger, right? So in poll SEM we have passed some cron job, right? So we pass for every minute it will check our GitHub repository if there any any commit is happening or not, right? So that will significantly affect our GitHub repository checking this traffic, right? So instead of going further, so we can choose this GitHub hook trigger Git SEM polling option. So what this really does mean, so whenever the new commit is happening on the GitHub repository, so automatically the test will execute, the build will run. Okay, so here we want, don't want to give any build periodically option here. We don't want to give any cron job expression here. Okay, so whenever there is a change is happening in the repository, automatically our build will start execute in the Jenkins. Okay, so that we'll see today. So since we have already created Maven project, so this is a project we have created already. So that project is I'm taking from my GitHub repository, right? So here we have to go to the settings option. So under settings, so we have to go to this webhooks. So when you go to the webhooks, right? So here you can see the statement, webhooks allow external service to be notified when the certain event happen, right? So whenever you make some new commits or new changes to the GitHub repository, it will get notified to the Jenkins. Okay. So here we have to create one webhook. Okay. So here we have to pass the URL, payload URL, right? So here we are using the localhost URL, right? So we have to copy this one and we have to give it here. Okay. So after this slash, we have to give GitHub hyphen webhook slash, right? So in the content type, we have to select the application JSON. Okay, so if you have secret ID generated in the Jenkins, then you can use it. Otherwise, you can ignore this one. Okay, so which event you do like to trigger in this webhook? Just select this, just push the event option, then click on the active and click on the add webhook. Okay, as soon as you can click on this, you can see there was an error setting up your hook. Sorry, the URL localhost is not supported because it is not reachable, right? So why it is because of not reachable? This is your private network. So if you want to post your event to the some server, right, that should be in the public network. Public internet. So you can see it's not reachable over the public internet. So we have to make our Jenkins. Maybe in your case, you should be using like you could be using your local IP address or local host, right? So this is accessible only within your local machine. Okay. So for doing this webhook, right? So it should be in the public internet. Public server, right? So how do we make this one? So how do you convert this your local host or local IP address to the public server, right? So for that one, we have to go for a Ngrok. Okay. So the Ngrok is a third-party tool which will convert your local server to the public server. Okay. So simply go to Ngrok website. Okay. So here you have to sign up first thing. So sign up is very easy. So you can use Google account or you can use a GitHub account if you have. Okay, so by clicking on sign up, it will ask you like you can sign up with your own account if you want. Otherwise, you can select the GitHub or Google option. So in my case, I'm selecting the GitHub account. Okay, so since I have already logged in, it's taking from the history. Okay, so this is my account. Okay, so here, so based on the operating system, you can download the Ngrok. Okay, in my case, I have to download the Windows 64-bit. Okay, I just click on this Windows. You can see here the zip file is download, right? So I have already downloaded since I just canceled this one. So this zip file, right? It has only one exe file. Okay, that exe file already I have it. So once this is downloaded, you just extract to the any particular folder, or you just keep it in the download itself. Okay. So in my case, I have kept in the download itself. So this is a file look like this, ngrok.exe file. Okay. So now the next step would be, so we have downloaded and we have extracted this one and put it on some particular folder. Okay, so otherwise you can just leave it as in the downloads folder. After that, if you go back to this Ngrok website, right? So this is your authorization token. Okay, this is for auth token. So if you want to, up this Ngrok server, you have to use this one. Okay, I will copy this and I will go to the particular folder where my ngrok.exe file is exist. Okay, so here I will open my command prompt and here we have to give ngrok.exe, then we have to paste that authentication token. Okay, auth token, just put on enter. So now you can see auth token saved to the configuration file. One YAML file will be created. Okay, so after that, what we have to do? So we have done this. We have updated the token value, and we have to execute our where our server is located in the Jenkins, right? So in my case, I'm running my Jenkins on localhost 8082. Okay, so here come back to this command prompt. Type ngrok.exe http space 8082 in my case, and put on enter. Okay, so now you can see as soon as you click on enter, the server will connect it, right? You can see the server, I mean, session status is online, my account details, right? So this is where this is my local host, right? So it is forwarding to this public URL. Okay, now I will copy this URL. Okay, and again, I can go back to my repository. So here we have to change this one. So instead of putting the local host, we have to overwrite this value, right? So simply paste that one. Okay, so I mean, leave everything as it is, content type as JSON, and click on this button. I mean, just push the event and active. Okay, now if you click on this add webhook, okay, now you can see, okay, so this time it's not an error message. Okay, so that hook was successfully created. We sent you the ping payload to the test it out. Okay, so they want to check, I mean, they will send you some ping to your server. It is, I mean, connected to a repository or not. So we have made this as a public URL now, right? So if you see this now into the command prompt, you can see the status is up. Okay, so whatever the ping they have sent, it is working fine. So whatever, I mean, so the status you can check it here, right? So now it is coming as a 200. Okay, which means our server setup is done. Okay, so now we have exported as a public server. Okay, so what we'll do now, we will go back to our GitHub, and I will go for a configure option. So here we have to select the GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling option in the build trigger option. Okay. So I will go to configure. So here we have to go to the build trigger, right? So in the build trigger, we have to select this GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling option. So in our previous video, we have seen the build periodically, right? So this is build periodically when you have to give the some ground expression, right? So to build on particular time of interval time, right? The poll ACM is like, so whatever the time that you give here, so each time it will go and check the your repository if there is any changes is, I mean, made or not, right? So instead of doing this, we can go for this. So whenever there's a changes happening in your GitHub repository, so automatically this will trigger your build. Okay. So now we'll simply click on and apply and save it. Okay. So now we'll come back to the workspace. So now we can see the last build was 15, right? So now you have to go back to your repository. So here we'll make some changes and we'll push the code. We'll commit the code now. Okay. So simply I will go to README file. So here I will go to edit. Okay. So here I will make some changes. Okay. So I'm adding this list text to the feature to the README file. Okay. So now I will commit these changes. So as soon as I commit, right, the commit is success now. So last commit is just now, right? So we'll go back to the build. You can see the last build is 15, right? So now you can see the 16 is triggered, right? So we'll go to the 16th build and we'll see the console. And in the console, you can see, I mean, how does it trigger manually or by admin or by build timer, right? So here you can see it started by the GitHub push by Saravanan. I mean, my username is coming, right? So this is my username for my GitHub repository. So it is automatically triggered from the GitHub event, right? So this is how we have to use this git hook trigger for git SCM polling option. Okay, so that poll SCM is like I mean, it will significantly I mean, the call will go to the for each time, right? So whatever the time that you schedule, it will, I mean, each time it will make the call to your GitHub repository. So we have made these changes now, right? So if you go to the server, you can see one more call made, right? So we did the commit, right? So that's a commit went as a second line. I mean, the second call, post call, right? So that's the reason the build is triggered. I mean, the test will execute and it will, I mean, the build will get succeed, right? So again, I will do the same thing. Okay, so for in this case, right? So if you see this one, so this would have triggered by manual, I mean, by the user, right? My user is admin, right? So the same like, so if we the last build, right? So that triggered from the GitHub by my username, right? So GitHub push by the my username is coming, right? So this is how we have to use this GitHub hook option. Okay. So these are the steps that we have to follow to make our private server to the public server. From local host to public server, right? So once you've done that one, it will be like so again go to the settings. So here you can go to the webhooks. You can see, a subsequent call will be gone from your GitHub. Okay, so now you can see is green color tick mark, right? Which means this is connected, right? So again, so now the build is, it's about to close. I think you'll see now. Yeah, still it is running. Okay, so once this is done, we will make one more commit to the GitHub. We'll see again the build is getting triggered or not. So now you can see this build is completed, right? So again, I will go to my repository. Again, I will make some changes, right? I will update the same README file. I will just undo whatever I did. Okay, I will commit again. So as soon as I commit, you can see this is, one more call, went, right, from the GitHub, right? So now we'll come back to the Jenkins. Yeah, so here you can see the 17 build is triggered. Again, you can go to the console again, you can check the things. So where it is, how it triggered, right? Started by the GitHub post by my username, right? So this is how we have to do. These are the steps that you have to follow to make your local host to public server by using the ngrok. Okay. So that's all about this video, how to trigger the GitHub hook option. Okay. So if you guys have any comment, please leave it. Comments or clarification, please leave in the description. Okay. Thank you guys. So after that, you have to make sure you are closing this server, right? So by clicking on the Control C, you can quit from the server. Okay. So because we are using the free version, so you cannot go for a more than one server. So if you want to go for more than one server, then we have to go for a paid plan. Okay. So make sure you are closing the server. If you close the server, again the build will not execute. Okay. Because we are posting our URL to this server only. Okay. So these things I want to update here. Okay, after the execution, make sure you are closing the server, because if you left this server as a open, you cannot create one more server, because as per pre-plan, we can create only one server. Okay, so make sure you are clicking on the Control C and you are quitting the server. Okay, so when you put on the Control C, the server will quit actually. Okay, so that's all, guys. I want to update. Thank you, guys.